Okay.
31st of December, Rabbi Levitt, Pele, Yoetz.
Okay. There's Hashem.
And we are in the Gemara in Kedushin.
We are in the Gemara in Kedushin.
We are on Daf Ayin Amid Beis.
Okay. So
I'll get my Safaria.
Be right back. I'm going to get my hearing aids.
All right, that's what? Kedushin 70 Aleph, is it?
starts on Aleph, but we're already now on B,
Uh-huh,
on the top.
right. So I'll scroll down. It's a long scroll. Oh. All right. Basically, what we're saying is that you're not supposed to greet a woman personally, and you can't send a messenger that's not related to the woman, because that puts a thing in their way. But you can ask the husband to send to pass on your greetings.
So we actually said after that that's also not permissible.
Yeah.
Right. There's Rashi on that.
Actually, can I read this, what I've got here, because I don't understand it. I'm not too sure if we've done it or doing it or not. I'm not too sure what it is. This was this business with Reb Nachman, one may not send greetings to a woman, even with a messenger, as this may cause the messenger and a woman to relate to each other inappropriately. Fine. Rav Nachman countered by suggesting that he send his greetings with her husband, which would remove all the concerns. Rav Yehuda said to him, "This is what Shmuel says. One may not send greetings to a woman at all." Yalta, his wife, and that seems to be Reb Shmuel's wife, who overheard that Rav Yehuda was getting the better of the exchange, sent a message to him: "Release him and conclude your business with him, so that he not equate you with another ignoramus." And then, desiring to release Rav Yehuda, Rav Nachman said to him, "What is the reason that the master is here?" And he said to him, Rav Yehuda said to him, "The master sent me a summons." Anyway, so it goes on from there. So some of the who's who is a bit confusing.
Yeah, this is
I believe that Alita is the wife of Rav Nachman, not of Shmuel.
Yalta.
Yeah.
Yalta, all right. Wife of Shmuel, yeah. I thought that as I read
Not the wife
further.
of Shmuel. She's the wife of Rav Nachman.
And what's the releasing bit? Is he being sort of, he's not doing well in the exchange?
yeah, that we didn't read that part of the Gemara yet, actually, Roy. This is that's just what we're going to read now.
I see. Okay. I didn't know what we'd done because I'd missed a bit.
we just review the Rashi on Ein Shoalin Be Shalom Ish Klal?
Yeah.
She Margio Leva Lev Vidasa Vidaita Etzlo. So this word she Margio, I wasn't clear on what it means.
It tends to lead to this result. It tends to lead to this activity of Shilas Shalom, of inquiring about this woman's welfare, even if it's done by way of her husband. But if the husband is a shliach for another man, so it's margil liba. It tends to lead to liba, her heart, vadata, and her thoughts etzlo to him, meaning to the man who her husband is sending is saying that he's inquiring about her welfare. It tends to lead to.
Okay, I see.
So is there going to be any way where we can inquire after a woman's health who's not related to us?
Yeah, so
I mean, I have a concern for various women's health, but that's all. You know, good friends of ours. And how do we find out? I said my wife. But what if the person hasn't got a wife?
oh, I have an idea. I mean, if a man wants to know about another woman's welfare, right? Is it necessary for him to send his wife and have his wife say that my husband wants to know about your welfare?
No, the wife could just ask on her behalf.
Yeah.
And then relate it to her husband.
So then, yeah. So if all he wants to know is about the welfare of the other person, that's no problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's if he's married.
No, we're saying, let's say Roy wants to know about the welfare of someone's wife.
And let's say Roy's not married.
No.
No, I'm serious.
Let's say my son Yosef
He sends
wants to know about the welfare of a female in my son Yosef is 28, and we had a friend in Los Angeles. We have a friend in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Who is a woman who's, I believe she's 75. And
Okay.
she was widowed. She is widowed. And she used to come over to our house every Shabbos. She was a regular Shabbos guest. And so my son developed a friendship with her. She came over every week and we would have the Shabbos table. So he's still in touch with her. He calls her frequently. And and they talk about whatever. Okay, so he's got a friendship with this woman. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with any kind of a relationship. The age is completely inappropriate. It's simply a platonic relationship.
Yeah.
So that's usher. From what I'm learning here, that's usher. So let's say that he was not in contact with her because he felt it was usher. And let's say she got sick and he wants to find out if she's okay.
Right.
So that's the question I think we're asking. What can he do?
So all he has to do is ask any person in the world that he knows and say, go and find out about this person. What is their welfare? But as
Male
long
or female?
But he can't
long as
ask
that-
a man.
as long as that person doesn't say that I'm asking about your welfare in the name of Yosef, so then this woman doesn't know anything about Yosef. She's not going to think about Yosef. Why would she think about Yosef? All that happened over here is that this third party contacted this woman and asked her, how are you?
But this third
But this
party,
third
male or
party-
female, it has to be female.
Yeah, this third party can't be a man.
Okay.
So how can Yosef talk to a woman? He's got the same problem. He's talking to a woman now.
Oh, okay. So that's what you want to know.
Is sending a letter the same thing?
Are we saying over here that we're not allowed to talk to a woman at all?
That sounds like what we're
Apparently.
saying. Yeah. That's
Apparently.
what we're having trouble with. Doesn't sound reasonable.
Because Lou and I have been talking about that.
Oh, but Shlomo Teshivenu. Okay, I'm gonna put that one on the side. I'm gonna put that one on the side.
Well, that's the Rashi we're dealing with. Ein sholin b'shalom isha klal.
No, but that's talking about even through the shliach.
Right.
That-
The Kol v'chomer, you can't do it yourself if you can't do it through a shliach.
One second. I think there's a misunderstanding over here. Rav Nachman was saying, "Let me be the shliach. I will be the shliach to inquire about my wife's welfare on your behalf, Rav Yehuda." And Rav Yehuda said, "No, ain't sholim b'shalom isha klal." Meaning that what? Even al yedei shliach, even if the shliach is the husband.
Right. So I'm saying Kol v'chomer.
Why is that? Why is that? Because when the husband says that my friend so and so asks about your welfare, so that will cause this woman his wife to think about this other man. So
Right.
we're not talking about. We're not talking over here about this man who's not her husband talking to this man's wife. We're not talking about that.
Well, I'm saying by a Kol v'chomer, if he can't talk to her through her husband, he can't talk to her himself directly.
Okay, so now you're making the issue: can a man talk to a woman who's not married to him?
Right.
Okay, so we're through with Sheila Shalom. We're asking another question.
Okay.
Or at least we're interested in this topic now.
Well, I think maybe we should look at the Pele Yoetz, the original statement that started all this. It is prohibited to speak with women.
And that's full stop.
That's the statement that started the paragraph that we were reading on page 181, which got us into this.
Well, the first sentence, first part of it, talks
Okay.
especially words of laughter and folly. So the second sentence is a little more deeper. Even prohibited to inquire of the well-being of a woman from her husband, because one should not inquire of the well-being of a woman at all.
Right. That's pretty much paraphrasing what our Gemara says.
Yeah, and Lou and I have been talking about this for a couple of days already.
So what does this mean here? It says it is prohibited to speak with women, especially words of laughter and folly. Especially means what? That you can speak other things, but
No,
particularly
no, especially means you can't even speak other things. But this is especially bad.
Mhm.
Because the second sentence is, it's even prohibited to inquire the well-being of a woman from her husband. Because one should not inquire the well-being of a woman at all.
Okay, so that's second part of the sentence, because one should not inquire of the well-being of a woman at all. That is the question I'm asking now. Get rid of the husband, get rid of the shaliach. You can't, because one should not inquire of the well-being of a woman at all.
Well, it seems superficially, it seems straight out. That's that. Full stop.
Right. Yeah, and then it says, this is the law. This is not a practice. This is it. This is the basic law.
אפילו לשאול שולם לאישה על ידי בעלה אסור ואין שולם בשולם אישה כלל.
In these days, Pele Yoetz wasn't written today, but in these days, what does that mean? You can't talk to a nurse, a doctor, a specialist if she's a woman,
Okay. So,
with the exceptions.
okay, so all right.
What about the husband inquiring of a teacher, inquiring about his child from a teacher?
Okay, first thing we should have to do is we should have to look up and see what is the Shulchan Aruch actually have to say about this.
I haven't got a Shulchan Aruch, I've got a Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Would that be of any help?
Well, I have a citation to the Shulchan Aruch. I don't have a citation to the Kitzur. You'd have to see if you'd have to look in the over there and see. But let me just
All right. Well,
read to you what it says over here in the Shulchan Aruch itself.
I have a Mishnah Brura. Can I look it up there?
No, this Mishnah Berurah is only in one of the four sections of the Shulchan Aruch, and this section is not covered in the Mishnah Berurah.
I see.
Okay, so the citation is the same for myself because I need to look it up. Is well, should we look up here what it says, Kol Be'isha Erva? Maybe we should look that up first.
Yeah.
So generally, yeah, so we see from this Gemara that it's not restricted simply to hearing a woman sing, but it's talking about hearing a woman's voice. That's what Rabbi Yehuda said. How can I be your shliach to go? Because when I ask her, she's going to answer me and call Isha Erba. I'll be hearing her voice. So let's see. This is oh, actually, this is in the Mishnah Berurah. This will be in the Mishnah Berurah, because this is in the Orach Chaim. This is in the section of the Shulchan Aruch that the Mishnah Berurah focuses on. So this will be in your Mishnah Berurah, Siman Ayin Hey. Let's see what it says over there. This is, in other words, if you look in the first chelik of Mishnah Berurah, Siman Ayin Hey. Let's see, I have to go get a Mishnah Berurah.
This is Mishnah Berurah. What
Ayin Hay,
Ayin Hay, what's that?
75.
Here it is, I think. But I haven't got the English.
Yeah, I don't have English either.
This is the 75. This is the what do you call it? The thing on the computer. Iron Hay. Okay, and what paragraph or possible? What I don't know what you call it.
Doesn't make any sense. Maybe I made a mistake over here. I'm sorry. Maybe I made a mistake. No, that's what it says here. Kobi
I
Isha
have,
Erba.
I have Tefach Segula Be'isha. Is that the right place?
Sif
Wait.
Gimel.
What? Sif Gimel?
Sif Gimel.
Oh,
Ayin Hey Sif Gimel.
Sif Gimel.
Iron.
Yeah, I have Yesh Li Zaher. Is that the right place?
Yeah, Yesh li zaher mishmias kol zemer Isha b'shas kriya shma. So over here it says one should be careful from hearing the voice of the song of a woman, Zemer Isha. Sounds like she's singing, B'shas Krishma, when he is saying Krishma. And the Ramah says, Afilu Be'ishto,
Really?
even his own wife who's singing, he shouldn't be listening to his wife who's singing at the time that that he is saying Krishma. Now that could okay, well, and then the remark says further, Aval kol haragil bo eino erva. Wow. But a voice, just I think he just means the woman, the voice of her voice, the voice of a woman, haragil bo, that he is accustomed to, Eino erba. This is not erba. This is not off limits.
How do you get
Is
it?
that talking about his wife?
Okay, says the Mishnah Berurah, Let's see what the Mishnah Berurah says over here in Sif Cotton Yud Ches. He's going on these words haragil bo. Aval kol haragil bo eno erba. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Rutza Laimar. The Ramah means to say over here as follows: Kevan sharagil bo lo yavo lidei hirhur. Since it's a voice that he is familiar with, he's not going to come to improper thoughts. Hirhur. Yafilu me'eshes ish. Even from a woman who is married. Married to, not to him, but married to another woman. I mean, to another man, rather. Just a slip over there. V'afilu hachi, but nevertheless, asur lechavein lahanos midiburo. It would certainly be forbidden to speak to another woman, and have in mind when during the speaking to derive pleasure from the sound of her voice. Sharei, afilu b'big deha asur listakel lehanos. Because even to look at the women's clothing,
Right.
which are not being worn at that time, is
It's like you're not supposed to, looking at women's clothing, you're not supposed to.
what could be wrong with that? It's
Window shopping, right?
forbidden if the reason why he's doing it is he wants to have pleasure from the sight of these clothing.
What's this word, lehistakel?
To look intently at, to focus on.
So if he's familiar with the voice of a woman who is the wife of another man, it's okay to talk to her? Is that what we just learned?
Yeah, the only thing it's usher is to be talking to her with the intention of having pleasure from hearing her speak. The voice of a woman is a pleasureful is pleasureful to hear. That's the pasuk in Koheles, not in Koheles, in Shir Shirim.
Right.
So
Sorry.
yeah.
What if the voice is not pleasant? Say, well, you've got say you don't give something to a woman when she holds out her hand for tzedakah, and she curses you and that, and she or something like that, or a woman's singing, but it's a horrible voice, and you get absolutely no pleasure from it whatsoever.
Okay, so you want to know, can you listen to a woman sing if you don't find the singing pleasurable at all, and on the contrary, you find it rather annoying?
Yeah, all right.
You have to leave the room.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You're not focusing.
that solves it then.
It looks a little funny. It looks a little funny that you're there.
Yeah.
Because you're not really supposed to be in the presence of a live woman who's singing, even though you're not really enjoying her singing at all.
Oh,
But,
we'll say you are. It's in a public place or something like that.
Yeah, it's so right now we're not talking about singing. Singing is a different category altogether. singing because, one person may think that her singing is very good. They enjoy the singing. So, it's a bit,
All right.
it's,
Okay, we'll leave it then.
Yeah, Rabbi, in terms
Yeah.
of, in terms of our group, we've been friends, a lot of us have been friends for a while, and we have dinner together once in a while. So how do we handle that? Is it,
right.
we're friends, but how far does it go in terms of a relationship? I mean, we've been friends for a long time.
Right. Right. And what are you going to do now? Say, we can't come anymore. Say, why? Why? What's the problem? Well, we just learned the Mishnah Berurah yesterday.
Hmm.
Oh,
Rabbi Levitt's fault.
it's my fault. Here, you know what? Let me read you from a contemporary sefer. Contemporary sefer. It was written by, you may even know the name of the person. His name is Rabbi Pesach Eliyahu Falk. Gateshead, England. He wrote a very seminal work over here, and it was translated into Hebrew as well, all about Oz V'Hadar Levusha, modesty, all sorts of halachas and attitudes in regard to sneas of dress and conduct. And one of the things that he says over here, he mentions this Gemara that we just got through reading, the Gemara in Kedushin 70b.
Mhm.
And he says as follows. He says, Chazal had an in-depth gauge to assess the effect things have on a person's emotions and the response that minor arousals can precipitate. They ruled that Ein Sholim B'Sholem Isha. It's usher. Now listen to how he translates this Gemara here that we just read, right? The words of our Gemara was, Ein Sholim B'Sholem Isha Klau, right? Isn't that what the words were?
Yes.
Those are the words in my Gemara. He leaves out the word klal. He just said Ein Sholim B'Sholem Isha, and he says it's asur to affectionately and heartily greet a woman. The poskim explain. See, in other words, he's saying from the later poskim, after the Gemara he says it's permissible to greet a woman with a warm good morning, goodbye, refuah shlema, and the like. Such greetings are intended as salutations, signs of respect, giving sincere brachos, or forms of encouragement, and as such will do no harm. However, it is usus for a man to greet a woman in a very affectionate and personal manner. Now he basically says over the Gemara that we just read. Similarly, it's usus for a man to send regards to a woman or a girl through her friend, father, or husband, even her husband, because the woman feels the tenderness and deep personal friendship that is being extended to her. Such expressions of affection are forbidden under the Isser of Lalos Sekarbu, Legalos Erba, which loosely translated means do not act in a way that fosters closeness and fondness between people who are erva to one another, who are forbidden to one another. Hearing this halacha on the one hand and considering the affable greetings and effusive conversation that take place in offices and I guess other places as well, gives us an idea of the consternation and alarm with which our sages would react if they were witness to typical office jobs of our times. That's what he's talking about over here. He's talking about people working in offices. So you see over here, he's drawing a distinction between greetings and talk, which is a sign of respect, which is a bracha, which is could be considered as derech eretz. There's a point to the dialogue between the man and the woman. Right? He even says forms of encouragement, which is interesting. And he quotes for this the Aruch HaShulchan. Aruch HaShulchan was a contemporary of the Mishnah Berurah. And the point being that the Aruch HaShulchan, he wrote on all 4 sections of the Shulchan Aruch, unlike the Mishnah Berurah. He wrote on all 4 sections of the Shulchan Aruch, and so he has something to say about all these matters, which are in one of the sections of the Shulchan Aruch that the Mishnah Berurah does not speak about. But so that's here's another interesting thing. This is the Dirshu, which brings the contemporary poskim of our times on what they have to say about the words of the Mishnah Berurah. So there's a few entries over here. So he says over here, the Mishnah Berurah mentioned that even though, if in other words, if it's a voice of a woman, even who's married to another man, that he is familiar with, he knows who it is, and so there, like that, it's not it's less of an issue of a halakhic problem, but he just warns that one may not speak to her in order to have pleasure from the sound of her voice. Right? That's what we said. So Rav Nissen Karelitz Zatzal says as follows. He says, "Dafka lahanos mitzalil kola." Specifically, we mean to say over here from the musical nature of her from her voice. Her it goes up, it goes down. It's very expressive. Aval in nehena mitochan divarecha, if he has pleasure and benefit from the substance of her words, she said something that's good, right? He says that's obviously permissible. She has something to say. So you want this woman has something to say, and certainly you're listening in order to hear what she has to say. Of course, we don't. The custom is that women don't get up and speak in front of men, but But to hear, for one man to hear a woman speak about something that the substance of her words have are important, and he has benefit from them, and he even has an enjoyment from the substance of the words. He says pshita. It's obvious that this is permissible. When we're saying that we don't allow to hear a woman's voice, he says what we mean is to have enjoyment from the musical nature of a woman's voice, which is very expressive and musical. Okay. Let's see here. Right. Okay. Right. So it sounds like what that's the point. The point is right. So in a context of a a dinner. So what happens after all said and done? That the man the man greets the other man's wife, says hello, nice to see you, and oh, and he gives a bracha. Everything should go well, and even says even forms of encouragement. That's he's not spending the whole time speaking to the other man's wife. He's spending the time while he's there speaking to the husband, I would presume. So just these greetings are permissible, right? If the greeting would not be given, it would seem that it would be a lack of derech eretz even. What's interesting is that Reb Nachman, he thought, right, that it would be perfectly permissible to do this. It's just that Reb Yehuda kept telling him that according to Shmuel, you're not allowed to do that. But Reb Nachman thought that it was permissible. So, not that Reb Nachman was going to prepare to disagree with Shmuel. I don't mean that, but it could be that this dialogue between Reb Nachman and Reb Yehuda, it could be that that's the source for the reason why the contemporary poskim today seem to be saying more leniently than what comes out from the Gemara, because the Gemara was recording the fact that Rav Yehuda bested Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman had no authority for what he was proposing to do, other than the fact that he thought that it was okay. And he's Rav Nachman. He's not a ordinary fellow. He's Rav Nachman. So that's that's what comes out from the.
Do you think it would be helpful if we knew what was the issue that they were discussing, that he was talking about telling his wife?
In the Gemara?
Yeah. Or is that irrelevant, you think?
Well, we're saying that that Rav Nachman what was his original thought? His original thought was that he's gonna go and he's gonna ask Rev Yehuda to go be his emissary to ask about Rev Nachman's wife's welfare.
It was
Not his
the
own
welfare
wife.
it was the welfare that he was asking about, or was something specific?
Well, the lashon of the Gemara is it's not something specific. Right? It was what did he say? Neshada le mar shlomo lealta. Let the master. I'd like to send the master to inquire about the shalom of Yalta. So that's just a right
Yes.
to
I
ask
get
about
it.
her.
Right.
Wasn't gonna be a long conversation.
But we don't know why this came up. We don't know why he's saying you should ask about the shalom of Yalta.
Oh, so we
Is it because she's sick, or she's feeling bad and she needs chizuk, or
no, I don't think we need to say that there was any. She was. I think we can assume that she was fine, but that that she would appreciate that that her husband was asking about her welfare, right? Because the way we're learning that Yalta was the wife of Reb Nachman, and he was
Right.
the one that asked Reb Yehuda to go ask about her welfare.
right? Doesn't it seem odd to you that, I mean, if I said to you, why don't you go ask my wife how she's doing? That would seem like a very strange request. I would never make that request.
Yeah, well, they didn't have cell phones.
Unless there was some reason why, she was feeling bad or something like that, and I thought that maybe it would encourage her. Other than that, I can't imagine why I would ever make that request.
Well, you mean why doesn't he do it himself? You mean?
Why does it need to be done at all? Why is he asking for this to be done?
Well, presumably, husband and wife, when they live together, they get up in the morning, they see one another, they say, "How are you, my dear?" No, and he wasn't going to be there that day or that week or whatever it was, and he knew that Rav Nachman was going in that direction, I guess, and he asked him to do this. That's how I understand the story.
I see. You're going back to town, and I'm on a business trip, and my wife is alone, so she needs some human contact. So just stop by and say, how are you doing?
It could be that if we learned the few lines before this, we would have an answer to this question, exactly what it is that what's the background. That could be. I actually don't know. Let's see here. Okay, anyway. when's the first time in this Gemara that we see the two of them speaking to one another?
Right.
Okay,
I see about a third way up from the bottom of the Gemara. First word in the line is Ladina. There's an interchange between Rav Nachman and Rav Yehuda.
Also, Hahu Umne Medina Kamed Rav Nachman. DC Pisca. Oh, yeah. Just a second. How did this come about? Also, Hahu Azmane Ladina. A person that was summoned to a court case. Azmina Ladina Kamei the Rav Nachman. And the case was before Rav Nachman.
So Rav Nachman was off base then, we think?
Yeah. Maybe Rabbi Yehuda Shtar is Mana, Rav Nachman, Vo Lefanav Ladin Torah. Vaisi Piska da Hazmana, also Rabbi Yehuda Lakame de Rav Huna, Amarle Izil. And Rabbi Yehuda came into this story over here. Um,
11:31.
Saved by the Bell. Okay.
So what do we do in the meantime?
Well, I think you could rely on Rabbi Falk.
Mhm.
All right, well, you and I will figure it out on Shabbos.
But what you say?
I said, you and I will figure it out on Shabbos.
All right.
Lou and I have been trying to figure this out for about a week already.
Hmm.
Well, it sounds to me like what we said is that the Pele Yoetz is not to be followed literally, strictly.
Hmm.
That you can speak to a woman, but you should do so carefully. You should be sensitive to the fact that there is an issue here, even with a voice. That what I learned is, even with her speaking, not only with her singing, there's an issue with getting pleasure from that. That a man needs to be careful not to fall into that.
Right? Every man knows for himself what it's right. Everyone knows for themselves.
Okay, so I'll wish everybody a good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom, Roy.
Good Shab-
Hey, good Shabbos.
good Shabbos. I'm not sure if I'll see you on Sunday, Rabbi Levitt. I've got something on, so but I might see you, might not see you. I don't know. But don't hold your breath.
Okay. All right.
Hatzlacha Rabbah with whatever you're doing on Sunday, Roy.
Yes, Hatzlacha Rabbah to Roy. Baruch Hashem, it should all
Shabbat
work out.
shalom to Alan and to Rabbi Levitt.
All right.
Amen. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom to everybody. To
Yechiel was here too.
Oh, Yechiel.
Yeah.
Shabbat shalom to Yechiel. Yeah, I
Shabbat
missed
Shalom
it.
Yechiel,
Okay.
to Alan and to Roy and to Lou. All the best.
Okay. To all of you, be well.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.